With Indian clubs facing a scarcity of building principles and unique ideologies on the pitch, the club from the land of nizams is slowly emerging there out as a club with structured philosophy, one where the players come in and adapt to the club's brand of football and not the manager adapting to an individual's playing style. Indian football for the past few decades have seen very few clubs that iterated the philosophy of trust and back the process of a manager, and even the short-tenured seasons of the Indian Super League saw managers being sacked midway. On such a backdrop was founded Hyderabad FC on 27th August 2019, replacing the previous existing ISL club FC Pune City. Soon Hyderabad FC became one of the first few clubs in India to launch a tie-up with the top 5 European League side Borussia Dortmund. The German club in Hyderabad went on to have an agreement on grassroots development, a deal that is cherished and was later followed by a few more ISL clubs. In the inaugural season, Hyderabad FC reappointed Phil Brown, a veteran coach in the Indian circuit, having managed FC Pune City earlier. But the tenure didn't bring fruits to the city of Nizams as they finished in last place in their very first season. What followed was the sacking of Phil Brown, who was eventually taken over by former Indian international Mehrajuddin Vadu as the interim manager. Since then, Hyderabad opted for the Spanish Revolution, a step that made all genuine football fans pan-India gradually pause for a second and turn their attention towards the football brand offered by Hyderabad. In came the Spanish interim manager Xavier Lopez for a total of 5 matches, followed by the exquisite signing of Albert Roca as the head coach. But the run did not last long, as fortunes back in Spain recalled Roca when he joined the FC Barcelona senior team as a fitness coach, thus leaving the duties in Hyderabad FC after a well-drilled pre-season to his recommended coach Manolo Marquez. The story of the brand of football trademarked by Hyderabad begins at this juncture, where Manolo Marquez decided he will change the outlook of running a football playing philosophy in the ISL. From the first season under Manolo Marquez itself, the gameplay was pretty clear. His team will no longer follow the age-old practice of Indian club football playing long balls and building an aerial attack, relying largely on set pieces, with an accumulation of players like Chinglen Sana, Liston Kolako, and Mohammad Yasir, and finding raw talents like Akash Mishra and Hitesh Sharma over the years at the club. Manolo Marquez made a very visible pattern in his selection of players. A typical characteristic of the same is having ball-playing centre-backs well with their footwork who can build an attack from its fundamentals. One who can start an attack from its own defensive third like Chinglen Sana, and internationals like Jao Victor and Odai. Exciting prospects and hot properties of Indian football like Halicharan Nazari, Nikhil Pujari and Ashish Rai coming from the rival clubs made some serious impact at the club through the course of the campaigns. The road for Manolo Marquez to set an example in the Indian Super League wasn't easy, finishing 5th in his first season. After feeling the heat in the initial season, the management of Hyderabad FC decided to make a change in the authorities. They brought in Sujay Sharma, an experienced veteran of Indian football for decades now, as their director of football. His arrival at the club made going forward in the transfer window pretty straightforward. They would discard the concept of bringing in big names available in the market and change it to bringing in the correct players who suit their style. Eventually, recruitments were reflected not just in the transfer window but also in partnerships with foreign clubs, as HFC did not only stop after tying knots with BVB, they progressed on to having tie-ups with Spanish club Marbella FC. Hyderabad FC, after the tie-up with Marbella, would have access to Spanish infrastructure and training facilities as per their wish. In 2020-21 season, Spanish striker Aridane Santana was probably one of the brightest spots for the squad that season with 10 goals and 2 assists in 18 games. The following season saw the uprising as HFC retained their core squad having known faces all over the pitch, with experienced players like Souvik Chakravarti, Mohammad Yasir, Ashish Rai and Chinglen Sana. They brought in impactful signings at the end of the season, like Bart Ogbeche, who largely reflected Manolo's philosophy. With the brand of football on display, Hyderabad FC displayed tremendous courage in 2021-22. winning 11 out of 20 games and finishing second in the normal league season. As per knockout qualification rules, Hyderabad faced ATK Mohun Bagan, winning 3-2 on aggregate. They went on to play the finals at Fatorda Stadium against Kerala Blasters, where an absolute last-minute equalizer from Sahil Tavora and heroics under the sticks from Katimani helped the Nizams clinch their maiden ISL trophy on penalties. Fine margins separated the two sides, but the entire nation turned their attention to the brand of football at display by Hyderabad FC. Bart Ogbeche scored the most goals in the league with an astounding tally of 18 goals, the main man for Manolo Marquez's team. To talk precisely about the evolution of Hyderabad under the stewardship of Manolo along with his men like Thangboy Singto, we date back to an interview by Manolo when HFC was struggling in his initial season. He exclaimed that if he was the owner of the club at that point, he probably would have sacked the coach. But the management of HFC did not do what probably a lot of Indian clubs would have. As the results from then on have been fruitful to watch, and the fact they did keep their faith in the process also flies in the face of the received wisdom regarding managers in India. The success and the current position of HFC as a club once again reiterate the fact that sometimes it can be beneficial to back a manager and let them develop a philosophy of a team rather than removing them at the first sign of trouble. Thank you for watching the video.